Weather prediction and measuring weather. Meteorologists, see the phonetic spelling there? Meteorologists, right there, are scientists who study and measure weather conditions. Some of these conditions, like air and temperature, air pressure and wind speed and direction, meteorologists have developed tools for measuring each of these conditions, right? When you want to know if it's hot or cold outside, you look at what is it? A thermometer. Or listen to a weather report. Thermometers measure the temperature of the air. Actually, what do you really look at if you want to know how cold it is outside? Let's be honest. Not the news. You look at your what? Give me a break. Everybody does that. All right. Thermometers measure the air temperature of air, right? In the investigation, you measured another property of the atmosphere. What did we determine? That air has what?
Weight.
Yes. Air pressure, right? Is an H or an L? What does H and L stand for? High and low pressure, right? Air pressure is measured with an instrument called a barometer. A barometer. You see the phonetic spelling there? We're going to build one of those this week. In one type of barometer, air pressure down on the instrument, causing the needle to move. The needle points to a number that tells how much the air pressure is pressing down. In other words, the instrument measures the weight of air above it, right? Got it? We determined that air does have weight, right? You learned in lesson 2 that particles of air closer together in a cold air mass, or they're closer together in cold air mass than in a warm air mass. Most cold air masses are denser and so have higher air pressure than a warm air mass, right? So, look at that. This weather instrument is a rotating drum barometer. It continuously records changes in air pressure. See it? All right, so Earth's land surfaces heat faster than its bodies of water. So the air above land is usually warmer. That means it is also less dense, right? Less dense means less pressure, right? Evaporating water, you guys can see this, adds more humidity to the air. Air masses that form over water have more moisture than those that form over land. We talked about that too, didn't we? Right? Yes, yes, sir. Hey, what is it when two air masses meet together? Gino, what is that called? It's a front. Another characteristic of weather you can measure is humidity. Humidity. Or the amount of water vapor in the air, right? Humidity depends on several things. The area over which an air mass forms affects the humidity. For example, air masses that form over bodies of water have more moisture. We talked about this. Than air masses that form over land, right? Temperature also affects how much moisture can be in the air. Warm air can have more water vapor than cool air. This is why water drops form on the outside of a glass of cold water, right? Because on the outside it's warmer, right? Air near the glass cools. The air can no longer have as much water. The water vapor comes out of the air, forming drops. In the investigation in lesson 2, you made a windsock. We're going to do that tomorrow. With it, you estimated the speed and direction of the wind. Meteorologists measure wind speed by using an instrument called an anemometer. Anemometer. They find wind direction by using a weather vane or windsock, right? So wind speed is an anemometer. Wind direction is a weather vane or windsock. Daily temperature data for weather city in any state, right? So you can see that little chart there. Mapping and charting. All right, so what do we talk about? Let's take a look at this one. Ready? Let's take a quick look. All right, Gino. Right here. Are we going to have good weather or bad weather here? Good weather, why? High pressure means the air is pushing down towards Earth. It means it's not going up into the atmosphere and condensing and creating rain clouds, right? What kind of front do we have here? Remember this one? Yes, Riker.
Low front.
Well, it's low pressure, but what kind of front? Remember I showed you the different fronts. This right here is a, go ahead. No, this is a what? No, that's a warm front. This right here is a cold front, right? But what about this one? This has a little bit of both. What do we call those? Raina. Stationary fronts, yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeedy. All right, let's keep going. Mapping and charting weather. By watching and measuring weather conditions, scientists can keep track of moving air masses. Scientists record their measurements on charts and maps. Then they analyze the data to try to predict the weather, right? A weather map can be big or small. Large maps show how the weather differs across the country. Small maps show weather changes across the state or a smaller area. Satellite pictures and maps often show clouds and weather for a large part of Earth, right? A weather map uses symbols to show weather conditions. Long lines marked with half circles or triangles stand for fronts, and we know which types, right? We went over those. Words or symbols describe the weather in an area. For example, small dashes may stand for rain, and small stars may stand for snow, you know. Symbols also may show the type of clouds that are in an area. All right. So look at this right here. Here's a weather map right here. So let me ask you, what would this be out here near Seattle? Would this be low pressure or high pressure? Ava. Low pressure, yes, because the air pressure is low because it's shooting up into the atmosphere, creating rain, right? What about down here in Arizona, New Mexico area? Is that going to be high or low pressure, Shaney boy?
I would say high.
High pressure. Yep, we've got air pressure is pushing down on Earth. It's not going up into the atmosphere, and it's creating a nice sunny day. How about, over here in Colorado and Wyoming area, right here, where the snow is?
Why would it be snowing?
Low or high pressure?
No.
Low pressure. Oop, picked the wrong color. That's going to be low pressure, right?
Low. I want to go to the sunny area.
How about the Georgia down there? Partly cloudy. I'm thinking maybe a high pressure is coming, but a low pressure system is on its way out, right? So maybe a warm front's coming through, right? Remember, warm fronts warm air mass catches a cold air mass. Right, maybe this cold air mass is over here. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think you guys get it. All right, let's keep reading. So in summary, meteorologists are scientists who study and measure weather. These conditions include air pressure, air temperature, humidity, and wind speed and direction. By measuring and studying weather conditions, meteorologists are able to try and predict the weather. All right, what I want you guys to do, all right, good luck and everything. I'm going to say Tadero out.